Okay, so I wasn't going to talk about the Game Awards because, well, the Game Awards are basically distilled dick cancer. They announce games I really do not give a shit about usually. And I kind of zoned out and went to bed after a while because I was like, fuck this noise. Like, fuck all of this. But anyway, there were two games they announced that I did like. One was by Flying Hog, I think, which they're also working on. What was it? Um, Shadow Warriors 3. I am looking forward to that if they ever get off their asses and do it. Anyway, they did announce the other game they announced was Alan Wake 2. Now this was kind of like I almost pissed myself when I saw this. I was like, no way. No fucking way. Bam, they did it. They finally got off their asses and made Alan Wake 2. I have been waiting what's it been? I want to say 10 years. 10 fucking years, ladies and gentlemen, for the sequel. And all I can say is it's about motherfucking time, you motherfuckers. But, yeah, I'm excited about that. I'm just like, shut up and take my money. And for those of you who don't know what Alan Wake is, Alan Wake is a game, well, was a game where you played a guy named Alan Wake. He's a writer, his wife has disappeared, and the enemies all have shadows that cover them like shields. They're all possessed. And you shine a light on them, and that takes away the shield around them, and then you shoot them. Now, that was in the original game. There was a DLC for it, I think 2 or 3 years later, which seemed okay. I never got to play it, unfortunately, because I didn't have my Xbox at the time. I had it when Alan Wake came out, but then circumstances took it from me. Anyway, that was more or less the thing. And by the end, Alan has disappeared and his wife has reappeared. So he's traded places with her. And the ending of the game has, like, okay, for some context, his wife disappeared because they were staying at a cabin on a lake, on an island in the lake. So at the end of the film, after he's taken, and the thing about this cabin is it disappeared years ago in I believe the 1970s after a volcanic eruption. And so this cabin should not exist by all accounts. Anyway, after he switches places with her, he's back in the cabin, and he says at the end, it's not a lake, it's an ocean. And end of the game. And yeah, that's it. That is the last we see of him, at least canon-wise. Now, the DLC is kind of like, I think, a movie or non-canon. But, yeah, that's the last canonical time we see Alan Wake. I really want to see... I am looking forward to this because I liked the game mechanics. I liked the guy they had playing and voicing Alan. And Alan's kind of a dick. I'm going to say this up front. He is a dick, and I like it. Not because I like dick, but because I like characters who are not goody two-shoes. And, see, all I can say is, finally, something to look forward to. I mean, I have not had that many games I look forward to this year. Hopefully it and Shadow Warriors 3 come out around the same time. Because so far the only game I want to get now is Hired Gun. I think it's called Necromunda. A Hired Gun. So far that's the only game I've wanted to get this year. And I haven't gotten it yet. Like, I feel like the game industry, like, I'm in a drought looking for good games that are new. Like, the game industry has pulled a Barack Obama base. I should know, scratch that. I should pull that back before I go into that joke. It's kind of like this thing that Shadowversity said on Game Nights about good dialogue now. Like, decent dialogue is like it's like a gold nugget at this point. It's like a drop of water in a drought of good dialogue. And, I mean, just look at Cowboy Bebop, for example. For some reason, I want to blame Joss Whedon for that, but anyway. And they just have us grateful that they've made decent dialogue, and I'm sitting there and I'm like, this is kind of, and I have the same thought about the game industry, is they pulled a Barack Obama. They fucked the dog with such ravenous abandon that they made us actively jubilant simply by not shitting in our mouths. That is what Wheel of Time has, what the writers of modern entertainment have done. And so even if Alan Wake is mediocre, I'll probably enjoy it because I enjoy games that, regardless of whether they're good or bad, it just has to have a certain little niche to it that has me hooked. And Alan Wake was that niche. Like, I liked it. It was fun. It was unique. It's the closest I've ever come to reading a Stephen King book or seeing one of his movies. And no joke, I have not seen a Stephen King movie before. Or if I have, I'm wholly unaware of it. Now, I've seen clips of the one where the guy goes, "Here's Johnny." But anyway. Yeah, that's more or less... Oh, there's one more thing about Alan Wake that you need to know. There's an evil version of you in that game series. At the end of the first one, you find out that after you disappear, a duplicate of Alan Wake is going to be taking your place, called Mr. Scratch, which I believe is a reference to Old Scratch, which is one of the devil's nicknames. But anyway, who's also an antagonist in the DLC that I never got to play. God dang it! But anyway, that's the video. Yeah, if you have not played Alan Wake, they did a remake or a remaster of it recently. I highly recommend getting your hands on it. I know I want to, but I keep forgetting to. Anyway, what was I going to say? Yeah, no, that's the video. Have a nice day, and remember the game was rigged from the start, but occasionally it has its upsides.